So you want to write an ebook. Well, just hold on, give me 1 second. 1 second. You're just gonna need a couple, just a couple of things to help you survive writing an ebook. Because let me tell you, writing an ebook is no joke. You're writing a freaking book. Whether you only want your ebook to be maybe 60 pages, maybe you want it to be 200 pages, you're still writing a book. And there are definitely moments where you're going to feel overwhelmed, like you have no idea what you're doing, and by the end of your ebook, you may feel completely burnt out, like you never want to write an ebook or launch another product again. But I don't want you to feel that way, so I want to give you some tips on how you can survive writing your very first ebook, so let's go ahead and get into it. Whew. The very first thing that you need to do is break down your book into small, manageable chunks. Now let me show you. This folder has all of the planning that was done for my ebook. I have got random notes in here. I've got printouts of the book where I did the editing. I've got just kind of a breakdown of the webinar I did to help promote the book. I've got more plans, my notes on how I was going to write it, the things I was going to include in the book. I've got some things in here, but you can break down your book in two main ways. And the first one I honestly think is the best way to do it. So if you are trying to come up with the contents of your book and you're trying to really understand the layout, how you're really going to write it, what you are going to include, I would start with note cards. These are some of the note cards that I used when I was writing my ebook, and what I did, I would start with the main chapter and I would come up with all of the main chapters that I was going to include in my ebook. Then once I had them all written out, move them around, see how you like them. If you don't like them the way that they are, feel free to just move them right in front of you. It's a lot easier doing that than having it down on paper or on your computer and have to rearrange, copy and paste. It's really just kind of a pain in the butt. Note cards are a great way to do it. Then, once you have all the chapters done, you want to come up with all the breakdowns of what you are going to include in that chapter. And again, rearrange them. Don't feel like they're stuck in the way that you come up with them. And once you have that done, then you've got all of the chapters you're going to include and a breakdown of what's included in the chapters, and it makes it a lot easier and more manageable for you to actually start writing your ebook. So I think note cards are especially a great way to do it, but you can also use paper. I've got a lot of notes breaking down, honestly, even the note cards. I started with note cards, I came up with the chapters, I came up with the sections within each chapter, and then I turned to my good old handy dandy, what is this called? Good old handy dandy notepad, and I started writing down a breakdown of all of the main points that I was going to include within each section that is within each chapter. When you are writing your ebook, I recommend that you do it in separate documents. Instead of one huge Word document or Pages document or whatever platform you're using to create your ebook, break it down by chapter or maybe even chunks within the chapter and write within separate documents. Because when you see your ebook, this is my whole 190-page ebook, when you see it just in this form, it can be so overwhelming to write, and it may honestly hurt your productivity in writing the book. So when you break it down into separate documents, it almost makes it seem like it's a blog post, and writing blog posts is so much easier than writing a whole entire book. So break it out into separate documents, and then at the end, put it all together and you've got your ebook. And don't force yourself to work in order. If you're feeling really uninspired and unmotivated to write chapter 2, but maybe you have an interest in writing chapter 7, go ahead, skip chapter 2 and jump to chapter 7. You don't have to write in order, because if you force yourself to do that, and let's say you are unmotivated to write chapter 2, you could end up holding yourself back and postponing the launch of your ebook just because you didn't want to write that one chapter. So instead, make some action. Any action is good action. Jump around, write your ebook however you want to write it, in whatever order you want to write it. As long as it gets done, that's all that really matters. Then if you get really bored writing chapters, because it is a lot of writing to write an ebook, feel free to work on the other areas within your ebook that you still need to work on. So your cover design. If you're designing your cover yourself, that could be a good distraction from writing your ebook. Some of the marketing material, if you have a blog, you plan on promoting it on your blog, you want to make sure that you have the opt-ins ready, and maybe if you're going to create a page for it, maybe you're going to include it in your sidebar, you want to make sure that all that information is ready. Or honestly, you could write the emails to promote the launch of your ebook, because that's a pretty big deal, as well as designing the sales page or coming up with the price of the book. There are a lot of things that go into creating an ebook, so if you are feeling uninspired to write, there is always something else that you can be doing that is productive and moving you forward in launching your ebook. With any ebook or physical book out there, there is a certain formatting that you have to follow, or kind of that you do follow when you are creating the ebook. So it really depends on the type of ebook that you are creating. If it's a recipe ebook, the formatting is going to be totally different from an actual just kind of like ebook, you know, one that looks like a normal book, it's just got a lot of text in it, it's going to look completely different. But you want to do the formatting as you go to make your life a heck of a lot easier. So that's going to be the start of each chapter, the end of each chapter, and really just if you got separate sections within them, you want to make sure that the formatting is done as you are writing it, because if you wait to the end, if you just spend your whole entire time writing the ebook and then you've got 200 pages to format, you're gonna have a lot of work to do. If you do not have a calendar or a plan or some kind of just map of when you need certain things to be done with your ebook, it is going to be very hard to complete your ebook in a reasonable amount of time. It may take you a year when in reality it could only take you 2 months. So you really need to create a calendar that is going to be your guide, your accountability partner to make sure that you actually get your ebook done. And lucky enough for you guys, I actually have a free resource for you guys that you can download in the description bar down below. It is a calendar on how you can create your first paid product in 2 months or less, and trust me, you can create your first ebook in 2 months or less. I did it. Definitely check that out in the description bar down below and get your free calendar to help you get started. Print out your ebook when you're ready to edit it. I know, this is a lot of paper and you may be thinking that you're killing a lot of trees, but trust me, it will make it so much easier on you editing your ebook if you print it out compared to if you're just trying to edit it on your computer. This way, you can read it out loud, you can go at it with a pen, and you can really just jot down some notes, and I think that you retain more of the information. It's harder to skip it over if it's physically in front of you compared to just being on your computer. But the final tip that I have for you guys is to actually have an outsider look at it, because if you are the only person that has edited your ebook or read over your ebook before you launch it, there are probably a lot of mistakes that you are missing. So have an outsider look at it. It's going to be their first time reading it. They're going to catch a lot more than you caught, and it's just gonna take your ebook up a notch. So there's really no harm, no foul in having someone else look at it. And that is it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. I do actually have a blog post that is coming out tomorrow talking about the steps on creating your first ebook, as well as just providing more information for you guys. So like the platforms you can use to create your ebook, how you can sell it, where you can sell it, pricing your ebook. I go over a bunch of information in that blog post. So make sure that you check that out. I will include that in the description bar down below tomorrow when it is added to my website. But you done now? Fancy, are you done? So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys back here in another video. Are you serious? Are you good? Ma'am, I'm trying to shoot a video here, okay? Now you're gonna act all cool. You're like, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't squeaking this. Hi, I love you. Okay, now you have to say goodbye. Say bye, guys. Bye, guys.